Now we got a sports game on here, Wes. We don't talk about sports games too often, but this
No, we
one
don't.
this one demands recognition. This is Madden. That's all you got to say. You don't got to say you ain't got to say nothing else.
Nope.
Madden.
You say Madden, everybody knows football. Everybody knows John Madden, and that's all you have to say.
When people come to the store, they don't tell you a year or anything because you already know. As soon as they say the name, they want the new one. Yo, let me get Madden. You don't sit there and say, well, which Madden do you want? You just assume it's the new one and let them correct you if it's not. Because
Yeah,
99 out of 100 times, it's the new one is the one they want.
but it starts. It has to start at the beginning. Madden for the Genesis was so much fun.
It
With the
was.
little halftime shows and the little ambulance that would come out if you got hurt. Granted, it wasn't NFL licensed because I don't think they were. I'm trying to remember. I don't think they were like. It was just the city names. It wasn't the team name.
Eventually, it had everything in there. I don't remember
Eventually,
what the
right?
original had. I mean, the one thing I can say about Madden is the most important thing is that not only did they have the name Madden, John Madden was extremely influential in the first game that they released because EA came to him, they wanted to do this deal, and John Madden was like, it's not a real football game if it's not 11 on 11. It's not. And
Mm-hmm.
he basically forced, EA to figure out a way to do it because they said that, they didn't know if that could be done. And then they came back and they did it. And that's really
Yeah.
what changed the game. It made the game, even though it looked cartoonish, this was a simulation of football for the first time.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And then they got the NFL license, and then you added John Madden doing his commentary, and it
Hmm.
really became football.
So good, man. Those old Madden games are great back in the 16-bit era.
We'll take the flip, the kick, the headbutt, and the taunt. Brr, throw in that and that. Looks good. Give me the field, too. Grab the stadiums, grab that, grab that. Do you have anything in a clothesline tackle? Good. Give me that. Give me the wave. No, no, yes. We'll take that, that. The dive. Party time. Let's do that and that. Not that, that, and that. Give me that again. Timeout. If it's in the game, it's in the game. John Madden Football 93 for Super NES and Sega Genesis.
Where'd that truck come from?
EA Sports. It's in the game.
I personally love the PS2 era of Madden. Like, those, like, Madden, like, 2004, 2005. Like, those games
Mhm.
are so, so good, man. And the sad part is, I don't think Madden has ever been the same. Like, after the PS2 generation, they've just been kind of, whatever. But you know what's interesting? What was going on around that time? What made Madden so good? Oh yeah, 2K was also putting out a football game around that time. I wonder why the Madden games were
Yes.
so good back then
Yeah.
and they're so mediocre today. I wonder why.
No competition.
No competition, man. And Genesis, dude, there was competition everywhere. There were so many sports titles on Genesis. You could throw a stone at a wall of Genesis games and 99% chance you're hitting a sports title. Like,
Yeah.
as soon as they didn't have competition, it was just like, we don't need to try. Here's your game. Here's your football game, guys. Have fun.
But thank you, John Madden, for all the years of football you have given us. It was couldn't have football without you.
No, man. That's that. Look, EA's getting rid of the FIFA name for the first time. I think not this year, but next year. I think the FIFA name is
Mhm.
going to be gone. At least for EA. EA is going to be called like EA Sports FC Club or so. It's something along those lines. But they should never get rid of the name Madden.
Nah,
Never. For no
no.
reason. Like whatever it costs them to keep his name, they should keep that just for Madden's legacy and him forcing them to start out with those 11 players.
Truly innovative. So why it's on the list.
No doubt. Now, next one is one of my favorite genres, which is shooters, of course. Now, I barely played this game. I think I played like a PS2 version mostly, but it
Mm-hmm.
was primarily known as a PC game. This is an arena shooter. This is
Mm-hmm.
unreal.
Yeah. I, you know, my computer wasn't strong enough to run it back in the
Mine
day.
definitely wasn't. If I played this on a computer, it was definitely at a friend's house.
But like you said, it was, to my knowledge, it was the start of the arena shooters, and all you did was just run around, and whoever had the most kills at the end was the winner. You picked up different weapons, The levels changed. You respawned in different spots, uh, and there's been so many other imitators since then, but it all starts with Unreal.
They had like smaller arena environments. Of course, that stuff has changed over time, but this is the OG, and this is why it's on the list. Like this is really important. Like think about Halo without multiplayer for 2 seconds. It's
Yeah,
definitely not the same game.
definitely not. It, you know what? If it wasn't for Unreal, there wouldn't be any Fortnite.
Yeah, you're probably right about that too, man. It's
You
basically
know,
all it is a big multiplayer arena. That's it.
that was it. I mean, do you remember for 360 that arena shooter? What was it called? Shadowgate, where it was an arena shooter, but you had powers.
There was a game called Shadow something. Was it Shadowgate? There was a Quake on there. I remember that.
There was Quake because Quake was a offshoot of Unreal.
Yeah, I remember playing Quake. There was Shadow Man. That's the one I'm thinking of. Remember Shadow Man? That was on
I
like
remember Shadow Man.
N64.
That wasn't it though. That
I
definitely wasn't it.
don't remember Shadowgate. No,
I
maybe the
gotta
game that
check.
you're thinking of.
I gotta check. But I don't know. It just popped in my head. But it was another arena shooter, but you had powers.
That's kind
Like
of
you
cool.
could teleport and levitate and all this other
Could you throw
stuff.
things with your mind? I always like that.
Shadowrun.
Oh,
Shadowrun.
Shadowrun.
That's what
Yeah,
it was.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that was definitely a pretty well known game during its heyday, during
Mhm.
that period of time. Now we're gonna go back to one of your favorite genres, Wes, and this is the survivor horror genre. So this is not Resident Evil. This is before Resident Evil.
Because if it wasn't for this, we wouldn't have a Resident Evil.
That's why it's innovative. You could say Resident Evil's better, and pretty much everybody's gonna agree with you. But the OG was Alone in the Dark.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Again, it was another computer based game,
Yep.
but it was a third person survival horror. You're in a house with zombies and monsters. But Resident Evil took a lot of cues from Alone in the Dark.
Yeah, certainly. They definitely looked at it and were like, "How can we make this better?" And they did. That's
Oh
exactly
yeah, they
what they
did.
did.
They definitely did. They
Just
definitely
like
did.
we just talked about Fortnite, that they just looked at PUBG and were like, "How can we make this better?" And there you go. When Fortnite wasn't even supposed to have that. That was a mode they added in later. They were just like, "How can we sell this game that nobody wants? Just make it like PUBG but better." Okay. And then it was like the biggest game of all time.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, I mean, Alone in the Dark. There's been several different versions of it. They added like for Dreamcast, they kind of rebuilt it, tried to make it look a lot more like Resident Evil, play like Resident Evil. Uh, it was still Alone in the Dark, but nothing beats the original.
No, not at all. Not at all. The last game on our innovative list here is extremely important. Mostly, this game came out originally in the PlayStation One era. It was like an over the top down view. It sold okay. It sold pretty well, but nothing like when it became 3D and took the form of New
Hmm.
York City, or as they would call it, Liberty City in the game. This is Grand Theft Auto, and the series just announced 2 days ago that it has sold a combined, from all of their series, 375 million copies. That's nuts. That's just dollar signs, man.
Everybody knows Grand Theft Auto. It's like Madden. You say Madden, that's all you got to say. Everybody knows. You say Grand Theft Auto, everybody knows. That's all you got to
Right.
say.
And the only reason people know is because of number three. That's where it
Because
all started.
that's where it started, where you actually ran around, stole cars, ran around, and yeah, because the first two, like you said, was just top down, and you just drove around. You didn't really do anything.
They're supposed to be good games, but they're just not the same. They're totally different.
Nope. Three, I agree. Three definitely changed the game, and they got better. Each version that came out after got better.
3 was
Concept
just
was
like,
still the same.
it was. But I mean, 3 was so. I mean, if you weren't alive then, or if you were too young to know, dude, everybody went out to get Grand Theft Auto 3. Dude, everybody got a copy of GTA 3.
Yes, they did.
People were buying consoles so they could play GTA 3. That's how crazy of a time that period of time that was.
Yeah, didn't it have? Yeah, because you could pick up prostitutes and take them in
Yeah.
the car. I remember working at EB or GameStop, whatever you want to call it, and trying to tell the parent, little Johnny can't play this game. He can't buy this game because of this is what's in it, and this is what you have to do.
Right. So like Wes and I are kind of along the same lines. Like I was young then, but I knew better. Like I knew to tell parents like as much as I could to inform them about the games. And the kid would always just be like, "No, it's fine. I played it at Billy's house. It's fine. It's fine." And then I would just be like, "All right, fine." And I would take the game and I would flip it over to the back and I would show them like why it's rated ESRB on the back of the box. And you would just see the parents' face. Oh no, we're not getting this. Like that. Every time the kid would look so disappointed. Like, I'm sorry, man. Like I had to show her. Like they should know what is in this game.
Yeah, I mean, it was our job because we didn't want complaining parents all pissed off because their kid is playing a game where you carjack people and kill people and have sex with hookers and all that other stuff. He's like, why didn't you tell me this was in there?
You know what? Also, like this, I think was like probably right before I started working at a game store because I remember this was the first time in my lifetime that I got carded for a video game. The first
Yeah.
time, and I was like, I think I was 16, and you had to be 17.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like so confused when I left that store because he was like, "Oh, I can't sell it to him." Like, what do you mean? I was like, no one's ever cared my entire life. I know what the ESRB is. I know it's been around. No one's ever cared. Why do you care all of a sudden? And so I left, and I was 16, so I got my 17-year-old friend who drove us to the mall to go buy it for me. It was like, all right, well, there, I got the game. Like, what do you have?
Yeah. Yo, I mean, people were losing their jobs because they weren't carding to sell this game. It was crazy.
It was crazy, man. And it would
It's
happen.
crazy.
You would hear like, oh, did you hear this person? Like this person that knows this person got fired because they sold a rated M game. And that shit was real. That actually
It was
happened.
real. It was real. But after GTA 3, we got Liberty City.
Vice
What did we get?
City.
Oh, Vice City. We got Vice City. Yes, thank you. We got
Vice
Vice
City
City.
was Vice City was the best, man. Oh
Man,
my god,
then they put out that CD set of just the soundtrack.
dude!
Of
Vice
all,
City's soundtrack
man,
was
was
probably
great.
the best soundtrack to a game of all time. It has to be. Remember
It
the
was
commercial
so
on
good.
TV with Flock of Seagulls?
Yes,
Oh
yes.
my god. Oh my god.
I still have my Vice City CDs collection.
Do you? That's so
I,
sick.
dude, I love it. Love it. It's good stuff. And then we got San Andreas.
Yeah, San Andreas was the first time they were in basically LA or Los Santos, as they would call it in the
Mm-hmm.
game. Vice City
Yeah.
was Miami. I forgot to mention that. So for those of you who didn't know, Vice City was Miami, Florida, essentially, and
Mm-hmm.
Los Santos was LA.
Yeah. And then you had the whole hot coffee controversy.
Yeah. So what hot coffee was? It was a whole controversy, like Wes said. If you had the PC version of the game, or I think if you had like a cheat code system for a PS2, you could
Correct.
unlock it that way. But basically, someone designed like a sex scene in the game where you could have sex with somebody, but they removed it. They removed it from the PC and from the PlayStation version, but that code still existed. And if you were able to hack it, you could go in and see the scene, I guess. And there was like a whole uprising around that. That was definitely a big deal at that time.
It was because I remember we had to pull it because they had to reissue new versions of it. But
Yes.
people already had it because it already sold millions of copies.
already sold millions of copies, and this was the first time I've ever seen it in the store because most retailers don't carry it, but they sent a special roll of adults only AO stickers, which is the rating above mature, but you never
Mhm.
see that in stores because most stores refuse to carry adult only games. And they sent us a roll of stickers to place over top of the M, and I was like, this
Mhm.
is so weird. This game has been out for months, sold millions of copies, like you just said, and I'm sitting here putting an AO sticker over top of an M sticker, like it even matters at this point.
Right. Yep. Yep. But yeah, Grand Theft Auto, man. Grand Theft Auto 3 was it deserves to be on this list.
It certainly does. The game was fantastic, especially for its time. It's probably a little rough to go back to now, but as far as like time and place goes, man, there was nothing bigger than GTA when GTA came out.
No, I mean people are still playing GTA. You know, GTA Online now. I mean, we had 4 and 5 and yeah, it's huge still, which is surprising.
Yeah, man, massive game, massive game.
I mean, they tried to do Saints Row, which was a wannabe GTA. I don't think it's ever achieved the popularity of GTA though.
Wes, I love Saints Row so much, so much.
Really?
I I I think I like it more than GTA,
Oh, whoa. Okay.
except for Vice
Period.
City. Except for Vice City, I really like Vice City.
Okay.
So ever
Okay.
since San Andreas came out, I was like, this is too much. Like when you got to control the dude's weight and like you had to go to the gym and like if I wanted to do this shit, I would do it in real life. I don't want to do this shit in a video game. So San Andreas actually really pissed me off because I thought they went like too far. And then I didn't really play GTA after that. So San Andreas was like the last GTA that I
Mhm.
truly played, that I could say that I played, and I did not like San Andreas. But I did like all the Saints Row games. I played Saints Row 1, 2, 3, 4,
Hmm.
Gat Out of Hell, which was like the spin off to 4. And they're making a new Saints Row now. And that's probably one of my most anticipated games of this year. So
Okay.
I love. Look, it is over the top. It's wacky. It makes no
Uh
sense. It makes no sense. It's not supposed to.
huh. Okay.
But it's, it's like a fun version of GTA. Like, imagine if they had, like, you played Crackdown, right?
Yes.
Okay, you know how you got those agility orbs and you became like a superhero essentially?
Right.
That's your character in Saints Row also. That's what the game has become. The last time I played a Saints Row game, you could like, jump like, 500 feet in the air. Then you could call a helicopter in and like grab you at it was such a fun sandbox to play in, Wes. Just
Huh.
completely over the top. And I'd imagine that's how GTA Online probably is now. They probably took a lot of cues from Saints Row.
I did the first one and I started the second one, but that's where I stopped.
Yo, peak Saints Row is 3 and 4. 3 is probably my favorite. 4 is right there though. You gotta play 3 and 4, man. Those games are so good. They remastered them. They remastered both of them.
We wouldn't have Saints Row if it wasn't for GTA 3 though.
This is true. This is true. Y'all need to check out GTA 3 and see where it started. Well, not officially started. It started at 1 and 2, but come on. It really started at 3. Be
It
honest with
started
yourself.
at 3. It really started at 3.